Hey guys, this is Market Update. We can't be anything but really positive about the next 6 to 12 months. Absolutely everything is lining up here, right? The time, like the 4-year Bitcoin cycle that we're in, this is typically when Bitcoin tends to move. Crypto moves with it, right? And so we have the time there, we have the election aspect. The market is starting to go risk on again. It's starting to price in the election and be a bit more concrete there. And you can go risk on. It doesn't actually matter who wins. You just need to know what's happening and then you can actually make your bets, right? And actually price in the future. On-chain is showing us that risk on is starting to come back, and the ETF flows yesterday, some of the highest inflows into the ETFs ever. And this is off the back of the best performing ETFs ever created, right? So everything is lining up here. And obviously you need to be in the trade before it breaks out, because if it breaks out, by the time we actually break out and we mature in the bull market, then you're going to be looking forward to the next bear market. But we definitely have another leg in this bull market, right? This is not the end of the bull market, in my opinion. This would be the worst ever bull market if that happened. And it just doesn't feel like that's going to happen. It feels like the market is starting to price this in. So let's look at the technicals. This is the day chart here. Look, we still haven't broken out of this downtrend. I actually think this downtrend is exactly what is necessary, right? You have a big move to the upside, and then you just have this very long period of chop. Like I said in previous videos, to trade not just this price, let's call it 60,000, but for the amount of time it's essentially one huge cup and handle, right? Like if you look at this huge move and then the handle right here, they're typically bullish patterns, but look, it's not about that. It's about testing this, right? It's about testing this resistance here. This is the price, right? We're trading around this 65 level, right? Above, below, rejected both ways, trading here again. Market's trying to break through this, right? You can just feel that the market is trying to do that. You can feel some bets being placed. You can feel the volume actually trading higher as well. The volatility is getting a little bit higher. That is all really good news, right? Because that's how the market trades as it attempts to find new price levels and new pockets of liquidity. It's really good news at the moment. If we look at the month chart, look, this is insane. Essentially what we've done is we've broken into a new high, and then we've just traded around the previous all-time high, trying to reject below it, and each time buyers come in and just force us up. Everything, the technicals, right, are just showing us that the market wants to go higher, and patience required, right? This is a month chart, right? So we're looking at a long time frame here. You can just see it. Previous all-time high, rejected from that. Wasn't ready for it. We've now turned that resistance into support, essentially, at 65,000. Okay, that is the base for the next leg. Everything is looking really positive because we're in the time frame where it should be positive as well, right? The macro cycle, the Bitcoin cycle. So I'm super excited about the next 6 to 12 months. If you do trade and you don't trade on Bybit yet, click the link below down in the description. If you make a deposit on there, you can get a deposit bonus up to $30,000 when you trade. We are in a bull market right now. It's very obvious, right? Bitcoin all-time highs, stock market all-time highs. Now, you know my position on this if you've watched all my previous market updates and a lot of my content. I don't think we're having a bull market in assets because the economy is doing really well and expanding a lot. In fact, if you look around the world, what you're looking at is low growth rates. Okay, you've got disinflation in Europe, right? Way below target. China has big issues, right? The US is only growing its GDP at this rate because of huge fiscal deficits, right? So I don't believe that there is a massive amount of economic growth, but I do believe we're in a bull market because I realized a long time ago that assets don't just price in their growth, they price in the debasement of the fiat currency. All the assets that we're looking at are valued in US dollars, right? You're looking at 65,000 US dollars for this strong, desirable currency. So a bull market is just simply when currencies are debased at a faster rate. Now, over the long term, that is 100% guaranteed. So if you're a long-term investor, very easy, right? These assets will go up in dollar terms because the dollar will debase and every other fiat currency. Shorter term cycles, all you have to do is just know when is the fiat currency going to be debased faster or slower. We've been through a slower period and now we're in the faster period. Very clear. It's as simple as that. You can see this from the on-chain in this cycle that people are starting to believe that the currency is going to be debased faster, and so they're coming risk on again. You can see that here. We've had a big period of consolidation, sell side walls. That is clearing up. Risk on again. Risk on tends to lead into higher prices. This is apparent demand as well. Again, a big risk off period or a consolidation period here where we've just ranged around the 65 level and then seems like risk on is coming back into the market. Yes, it's going to be volatile. That's trading, right? But we can feel that starting to happen. The ETFs are the best performing ETFs ever, right? insane, and we're having huge inflows. Like I said in the previous video, the US is in charge right now. If you look at a chart of the Bitcoin price versus inflows and outflows from the ETFs, they're very, very similar. When you have big inflow days, Bitcoin goes up. Big outflow days or kind of no flows, then Bitcoin's going to be subdued. So the US is in charge right now, and that means Bitcoin is essentially trying to price the election right now. So whoever you think is going to win, or the market thinks is going to win, and if they're going to be positive or negative for crypto, it seems like Trump is being favored right now in terms of the betting odds. People are starting to take risk on bets. Very, very clearly pro-crypto. So that's just the way it is, and risk on is coming back. You can also see here that essentially this is one of the longest periods in time in a bull market that we've not hit a new all-time high. And so it's coming, right? Because let's just assume that this asset that's been essentially going at higher highs and higher lows for 15 years will continue that, right? As it's being adopted, you can see that the market is adopting it, wants Bitcoin. So the market wants Bitcoin, market loves Bitcoin and wants to own it. And we're in a bull market where the price is simply going to range and reach price discovery at certain periods. These long periods here are bear markets. So this was the previous bear market where we hit the all-time high, came down, and we've hit a new all-time high, and we're just ranging and using the previous all-time high as support. So I'm just so positive on this entire trade setup. Everything, the technicals, the on-chain, fundamentals, the time, everything is setting up for this. So it's going to be volatile. We don't know exactly when it's going to run, but everything is showing us that this thing is going to run again pretty soon. Again, the entire trade right here is currency debasement, plus the positive way to play it. There is another way to play it if you want, and that is to go into the bond market and trade the bonds, right, of the government. But normal people, we shouldn't be doing that, right? We should remain positive, and Bitcoin is the positive way to play this, to earn and to save in this strong, desirable asset, fungible, liquid, worldwide. That's the positive way to play this. Trying to be a bond trader, I don't think is the right way to go about things. Federal debt, this is in the US. I mean, this isn't going to start making lower highs and lower lows, is it? It's a trend upwards, and it's the only way. This is what fiat currency does. There's no other option. The bad thing here, though, is total public debt as a percentage of GDP. It doesn't really matter how much debt you have. It matters how much debt you have in relation to the GDP. That's not going the right way either, right? It's not a good look, and there's pretty much no way to actually reduce this other than printing money to buy back the bonds. And that means currency debasement. If we overlay that with Bitcoin's adoption over Metcalfe's law, you can see that Bitcoin is not overvalued right here. The adoption of BTC by individuals who don't want to be debased, essentially. Every dollar that you hold, that's the government's option to debase your labor and your savings over time. No one wants to do that, right? So you're going to go into Bitcoin because it's the only logical option. The adoption is happening. Metcalfe's law, the curve right here, and Bitcoin's price, literally on this. The second one right here, again, just without the logarithmic curve here, we're right on track. So Bitcoin at 65,000 is pretty much priced accurately in terms of its trend. So we're not at the top of a bull market. I certainly wouldn't be selling when we're on trend. Maybe if you're way above the trend, maybe you want to sell if you have some things to buy, if you want to pay off some of your debts or anything like that. But for right now, we're right on track. Over the long term, the only trade for a human is to prevent yourself getting debased. Currency debasement is par for the course. 2,000 plus years of history here. Roman imperial silver coins, you can see the debasement happening. If you can debase someone else's money, that means you take their labor and savings away from them. This is the only trade of a lifetime, is to stop this happening. 2,000 plus years of history of currency debasement. Fiat currency, bonds, commodity currencies can all be debased. Bitcoin is the only one that can't. And I think this goes 10 to 20x in today's terms versus these assets. I think these ones also go up because the currency debases, but Bitcoin is not mature like these. I think it has the 10 to 20x to become world money, which is more than gold, right? And so that's the outperformer. I can't see any, these are great assets, but they are not going to outperform 10 to 20x versus one of the others. Bitcoin's the only one that can do that, in my opinion. So that's where we are for the long term. So this is an asset you have to buy and hold and just dollar cost average over the long term, but you can trade it in cycles, and I think we're going through a pretty positive one at the moment as well. If you do trade, check out the Bybit deposit bonus down below, up to 30K. If you have the Crypto Investor course, you'll be getting a free update just after the election as well on this cycle and what I'm doing. If you don't have the Crypto Investor course yet, look below. 300 plus videos, it gets updated for free over time. I'm James, this is MoneyZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.